Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Canadian Football Central's CFL content for the fans, by the fans. And we got another re-signing for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, as Nick Hallett will be sticking around for the 2026 season. He's on a one-year deal. He's been mostly a special teams player for Winnipeg, although he's occasionally played in the secondary, most notably probably in the 2022 season. He's been around in Winnipeg ever since 2019 and is being kind of a piece of the special teams. And you'll see him play some defense as well. You'll see him kind of pop into safety a bit. But he'll be sticking around in Winnipeg. And so, he's born in London, Ontario, went to school in Toronto, and he's only 5'11", 190 pounds, 32 years old. He'll be sticking around with Winnipeg. And so the interesting thing is that, so he was a 7th round pick in the 2019 CFL draft out of the University of Toronto. Over 100 career regular season games, he has made 42 defensive tackles, 80 special teams tackles, 1 sack, an interception, a forced fumble, and 1 touchdown. And so he's kind of been a key piece of the special teams for Winnipeg for a while. When it comes to guys that are special teams specialists, you know what I mean, that mostly play on special teams, I like seeing kind of that consistency. I think that's been very helpful with Winnipeg year after year, is having guys that, rather than just seeing the Edmonton Elks model of a new roster every year for special teams, I think having that consistency has been being very good, and I think that's allowed their special teams to do well. That's what I meant by that. So, as a non-Bomber fan, kind of what's your opening thoughts on this? Right.
Well, I mean, there was questions that I was going to ask, but you pretty much answered them. So my other question to you, it's more of a team question than it is anything else. Like, if you had to put down pen to paper, who would be your starting 5 on defense?
Let me start with the one that you had sent me a while ago, just so I can use it for reference.
Yeah, that's fine.
For starting 5,
I just don't think that one has Moxie, so don't forget that you do have Moxie back there.
Yeah, I don't know where you put Moxie. I don't know. Maybe you put him at corner. I don't know. But
just so that you do know, if you're looking at that sheet on this side, so I think it's the boundary side, corner is where he played for us.
Yeah, so I'd say Moxie goes in, and then I think you'd keep McGee, and Burrell would get bumped back. I could be wrong. I think I'd have to check their stats more closely.
Do you?
Evan Holm, Dietrich Nichols, and Cam Allen, I would all keep. I wouldn't take out those 3. And Moxie are non-negotiables in my opinion.
So you're saying that Vavel would not even make it into the starting?
No. Vavel, I want to keep him as a returner. I don't want him going on the field and risk getting hurt, and then we lose him as a returner. That's my thing. Vavel, I think, is fine as a secondary piece. As a backup, I prefer him as a backup. Like, I don't want him playing starting, because all you're doing is risking injury, where I think the majority of what Vavel can provide is as a returner. And so I think if you're putting him on defense, you're just risking injury. Which is why the Bombers were even skeptical about times at using him there. The only other thing I could see happening potentially is right now, so obviously at strong side linebacker, Retta Cramdy is playing there. Again, usually you have more of a DB piece there. So I imagine that Santos Knox bumps Kyrie Wilson back. That's kind of what I've seen from an updated depth chart somewhere online. The only other thing the Bombers could do is if you actually did play 3 linebackers there instead of playing a DB there, if you decide to do Kyrie Wilson, Santos Knox, and Tony Jones, then what I'd do is I would take Retta Cramdy and either put Retta Cramdy in McGee's spot on the corner, or I would put Retta Cramdy at safety and I'd move Cam Allen to corner. That would be the only thing if you went 3 linebackers, but I don't think they will.
So the only where do I have him on here? Do I have him listed? So here's the thing is, the difference between those 2 different scenarios that you had mentioned is if you go with Jones, Wilson, and Knox, then that gives you 3 Americans. If you go Jones, Knox, and Cramdy, that gives you 2 Americans.
But it won't make a
as
difference, and I'll tell you why. Because then you're moving. Cramdy is not going out of the lineup. He would be moving to safety, or would be moving to corner. In which case, McGee would come out and Allen would move to the other spot. So you'd still have the same number of Canadians. You'd just be shuffling them around. That's what I'm saying.
What?
Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. Why did I have
But regardless, I think
Ottawa when he's on Winnipeg? Dang.
Who?
No, for some reason I had Elijah McGee on Ottawa when he's on Winnipeg.
Is it the same? Is it the same McGee?
I think so. I'll find out in a second.
Because it starts with an A. Hold on a second. I don't know if that's the same guy.
Yeah, it is the same guy.
It is? Okay,
Yeah, he was released in August.
Oh. Huh. I couldn't remember. But anyways, though, as a Bomber fan, I'm happy to see Nick back. I've never had a problem with Nick Hallett on our team.
Didn't he have a twin brother?
Yes. Nick Hallett did have his brother was on the team, but I think last year was the first year it was just Nick. I'm trying to remember what his brother's name is.
Brain fart.
I'm having a brain fart. What if I search up Nick Hallett brother? What was the other one? Noah. It was Nick and Noah. That's right. And so Noah had stopped. I think 2024 was his last year. So yeah. But Nick Hallett will be sticking around in Winnipeg for another year. I think that's all I had. Is there anything else you got there, Rick?
No, sir.
All right. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you guys leave a like, share it around, and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, if you guys haven't, make sure you guys join our Discord. Link in the description below to our Discord where we discuss all things CFL, NHL, all sorts of sports stuff. So make sure you guys go there and check it out. And we'll see you guys next time.